What are you doing? Nice Saturday. 12:30 over here. What's going down? Hoy, how's life? Hey, there's some good stuff to discuss today. Man, it's gone mad. The world's gone fucking mad. Before we start, let's chuckle at this one. I found this funny because this is by CNN, and obviously this is back from 2016 when CNN wasn't completely insane. Because, like I always say, you've got to be aware that, you know, the world going completely mad's a relatively recent occurrence. Like the BBC, I know you guys are going to disagree because everyone loves to slag off the BBC, but the BBC wasn't that bad only as recently as about 5 or 6 years ago. Like, it's a very new phenomenon where these social justice fucking communists, I don't even like calling them anything else. I don't like calling them like social justice activists or fucking, you know, what else do they call them? They've got loads of shit names, haven't they? They call them like the new left or the liberal left. It's like, they're definitely not liberal. They're less liberal than fucking Boris Johnson. And he's just locked people in the house for 6 months. So it's a strange thing. CNN wasn't crazy. Like when I first moved out to the United States, so 7 and a bit years ago now, I used to watch CNN all the time. I thought that Anderson Cooper was actually all right. Like I used to listen to him and I was like, yeah, he's pretty reasonable fella. Let me just move this over a bit. A bit more. There we go. I thought he's quite a reasonable fella, isn't he? He's not completely off his tits. But complete madness in the last 4 or 5 years. You can see from what I've been watching on YouTube as well, Jordan Peterson, like he talks about it all the time. He's like, it's a new phenomenon. It sort of happened in the last 5-6 years. And I think it's the millennials are complete shit for brains. And then when they've aged to be old enough to go out and become professors, they're the crazy ones. Like I seen one on the TV. Everyone was calling him Professor Pez because his neck was about 4 foot long. He looked like a fucking giraffe. I wonder if that'll come up on YouTube anyway. Professor Pez. I'll have to look for him. But it's definitely the millennials were pretty lefty, and then when they've got into the 30s and started taking over as professors, that's when everyone went mental. Paw Patrol. Oh yeah, you like that? If anyone hasn't seen my Paw Patrol video, check that out. That is funny. Sending a load of black women to a gypsy camp dressed as anthropomorphic dogs. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yeah, what can go wrong? Anyway, just watch this video. CNN as well. It's only 2 minutes. Fucking do it. What's he doing? Like, it's proper creepy, isn't it? If you like met your mate in the pub and he went, all right, this is my new girlfriend, Sarah, and he went, all right, love, how are you doing? Huh? And then you're like, huh? And he's just like, fucking loving this, me. I fucking love a long hug. He starts sniffing her hair like he's like some sort of maniac off Silence of the Lambs. No volume. Okay. Hang on. Desktop audio. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's because Alright, we can't watch any videos then. I've noticed what the crack is there. It's when I'm listening to my wireless headphones around the house. If I don't turn the PC off and I switch to these bad boys, doesn't work, the audio. Ah well, we can't watch the fun stuff. But anyway, I'll tell you what, we can put it on and I'll do the sound for you. So maybe that'll be quite good. So the narrator says, there's long hugs where you just throw up your arms and you go for it. And then there's ones that are a bit long. And then there's this. I'll do the sound for you. There you go. That's basically what it sounds like. Yeah, and it keeps going. Keeps going. Uh, 16 seconds. That's what they said. It goes on for 16 seconds, like doing his pervy hug. Weird that, innit? Like, and she's like, yeah, seriously, get off me. And he's like, look, nah, not letting go. I'm rubbing the inside of my wrist against your nipples there, love, so it's not happening. And he just cracks on. Sniffing a bit like while he's massaging his thighs like some sort of fucking sexual deviant scum. It really is. Yeah, touching a side boob, isn't he? Defo. He's like, it's mad as fuck. So Joe Biden's a proper weirdo. And this ginger kid as well, he's only a bairn. He, you can see on her face, look, he's proper like rubbing his fucking beak up and down her head. And she's like, he's off his tits, this cunt. Yeah, I agree with Jackie Chan there. But hugging is weird. Like, I just don't hug people. I find it to be really strange. But Joe Biden's just a different kettle of fish, isn't he? There's definitely something wrong with him. And I do find it really bizarre. Again, like, the whole thing about grabbing by the pussy. If you think of that, like, this is why it didn't affect the male vote as badly as the women. This is going to be controversial to say, right? But seriously, that is pretty normal banter for blokes. Maybe some people deny it in front of their wives and kids, but really normal. Like, if you've been a fucking young lad surrounded by other young men, and it doesn't have to just be from a military standpoint like the Marines, but like, you know, not the Navy or the Army or anything. I'm talking about like any big group of blokes, builders on a building site, fucking oil rig workers. I read a good book years ago about oil rig workers. You know, they're manly blokes as well, or a building site or a rugby team or anything like that. It's not bad, and not only is it not bad, it's actually quite funny. Like, the way he just come out with it, quite deadpan, I think was pretty funny. And to try and draw an analogy, what I would say is, if I was like an actor or a footballer or something, like someone with clout like Trump is, and I was at like a restaurant with 5 of my mates, and the waitress was being like particularly flirtatious and blatant, because that's what they do with billionaires, don't they? Like, if women keep going on about, oh yeah, why do men treat us all like fucking slags and that, and it's like, well, you can't blame a billionaire playboy for being misogynistic, and he is misogynistic. I'm not saying he isn't, but what I'm saying is, our society, our degenerate, fucked up culture has made it that way. Like, footballers, singers, actors, billionaires, playboys, everywhere they go, women are desperate to part the whiskers for them. They don't care what they look like, how old they are, whether they have any charm or wit. It's literally, this fucker's got loads of money, so I would fucking smoke his pole all day long. That's the culture we've built. Now, it's not all women. I don't think my missus is the type, but it's enough of them whereby if you're rich and famous, you are going to become misogynistic by osmosis, aren't you? Like, because you can't trust women. You can't know whether the one that you're talking to is going to be a noble, selfless, honest woman. So you just have to start thinking they're all slags. I can't trust any of them, and I might as well just act like they all act. It can't be any coincidence that all the footballers, for example, have been just smashing everything that moves. And then it gets even worse when you read about them. Like, did you see that footballer? Who was the footballer who took a bird back to a hotel? Blatantly took her back to the hotel with his mates. She even goes in with him, and then a couple of seconds later she comes back out and runs back out to the taxi because she left a pizza in the back of the car. So she runs back in, picks up the pizza, goes back in a second time, and then the next morning she's like, oh yeah, he raped me. It's like, does anyone believe this happens? Like, it might happen, but 99 times out of 100 it's going to be exactly how it presents. It's slutty women who are desperate for money and status, who will just shag anyone who's got a 6-figure fucking bank balance. So you can't blame them for being the way they are. And if I was some sort of like, fucking famous footballer and I was in a bar and the waitress was like, oh, totally giving you fuck me eyes over the counter in completely inappropriate times, which is what the gold diggers do. Completely inappropriate. You could be like walking the dog or, pushing the baby round the fucking supermarket and they'll come and drape themselves over the fucking trolley like, oh, you just donkey one into me in the middle of the grocery section. Like, everywhere these people go, everywhere they go, they get women crawling all over them. And it's easy for little fat, baldy, Danny DeVito looking cunts to go, oh yeah, but he's immoral. It's like, well, yeah, but you've never been tested that way, have you? None of us have been tested that way, unless you live a lifestyle where every single way you go, women are just fucking draping themselves all over you, completely inappropriately. You shouldn't really be that judgmental, should you? I'm not trying to make excuses for him, and I don't think it's moral to cheat on your wife, but it's totally different. Everywhere I go, people aren't trying to fuck me. Maybe if there were, I wouldn't have had a successful marriage. Maybe when I've had 8 pints one night and I'm minding my own business going for a piss, and then there's women literally fighting over my cock on the way to the toilet, maybe I would have succumbed to the temptation and got a gobble off an 18-year-old cheerleader. You don't know, do you? So Trump, yeah, fit ones as well. Like, it is hard. It's easy to be judgmental about people like fucking Johnny Depp and fucking Donald Trump and anybody else, but it must be really weird everywhere you go. And this is what I'm saying. I think most normal working class men who actually have to compete for Fanny, I think they know what it's like. They understand that it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be a bad husband and you shouldn't fucking... I mean, I think Trump, but some of the birds that they've dug up with him, fucking hell, he'd fuck a barbershop floor, Donald Trump, wouldn't he? I think he would fuck anything. He'd fuck it all in a tree. Donald Trump. He's just an absolute fanny rat, isn't he? A gash rat. If it's got hair on it, Donald Trump will fuck it. But first of all, that's better than Biden because he doesn't seem to care about the doesn't seem to care about the puberty part. And secondly, it is different for them. So, like I said, it's just bants that. Fucking Foxy, welcome to my life. You're getting on, mate. You judging by the fucking shorts you wear going to the beach, I don't think that's sunk in, but you're getting on. 44-year-old men, they shouldn't be donning hot pants, neon pink hot pants at the beach. But that's just me. Yeah, Boris is a bit of a dirty bastard as well, isn't he? Because it'll be the same with him now. Everywhere he goes, there's women trying to fucking smoke his pole. Yeah, Joe Biden doesn't care if there's any fur on the fucking pitch, does he? And this is what I'm saying. As far as jokes go, I'd even give that a 7 out of 10. Like, let's try and do a bit of like a role play, and I'll deliver it as I would if I was in the pub, right? So let's say I'm at a bar and I'm a billionaire, and there's loads of you guys there sat around the table, just the lads. And the waitress is fucking totally inappropriate in ridiculous ways, how we know there would be, where you'd be like, yeah, all right, can you get this without avocado? And she's like, oh, yeah, what else do you want, handsome? And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And your mate would be like chuckling about it, going, ha ha, everywhere Matt goes, women are trying to get him to fuck them underneath the table. And at that point, when she walks off with your order and I have a laugh and say, fucking hell, I think I could fuck her in the middle of the fucking changing room here. Someone said something along those lines, like, why don't you just fucking drop her drawers at the bar? If I was to then say something like, yeah, shall I just march over and stick 2 fingers up her ass? People would laugh. Like, that's a bit of banter. Because the women are being so over with the rich and the famous. So that's basically what he did. He was like, well, fucking hell, Donald, I bet everywhere you go, women are trying it on with you. And he said, yeah, I don't even have to give them any chatter. I can just walk over and grab them by the piss flaps. I think that's quite good banter. Right, so if I've upset any women watching, I apologise. But I'm just saying, it's not terrible. Like, he's not a comic genius, but he's pretty funny. Like, it's just a bit of crack. And from that little bit of crack, they literally called him a rapist. Like, they didn't say Donald Trump is crass and makes, like, obscene remarks. They literally called him the pussy grabber and the rapist. And it's like, no, he made a bit of a quip. Like, again, like I would. Like, it's the same thing. If I was joking, oh yeah, shall I just go and grab her by the fucking minge? That's a joke. And they went, oh my God, he is the pussy grabber. He is the rapist. It's like, what fucking planet are we living on when that's your standard? Is that your standard? You occasionally make a joke, therefore you are a rapist. Like, it seems pretty harsh to me. But what do I fucking know? Any Aldershot pub knows. Any Aldershot pub more like? Yeah, maybe, or Middlesbrough. The women have... We used to play a game when I was driving up the line with all the lads from Plymouth, 4-2 Commando in Plymouth. All the North East lads used to go together in one car. And whenever we dropped off, like there was a lad from Hartlepool, a lad from Sunderland, a lad from Newcastle and me. Whenever they dropped me off in Borough at the train station, we used to play a game and it was guess the prozzies. Because there's so many prostitutes in Middlesbrough. You used to just... You do it every fucking where. So we'd pick and see who was the closest as we were driving in off the A19 slip road. And, you know, one would have 10, one would have 12, one would have 15. And you're driving, it was how many prozzies you can count on the sort of 400-yard fucking drive from the motorway to the train station. Prozzies all over. And one time I was having after a night out, I was totally skinned. And this is quite embarrassing, but, you know, young lad in the borough. I started sleeping rough down the town to just spend all my money. It became a bit of crack, like I did it once. Like, I think I spent all my money, slept in a wheelie bin. It was out the back of a pub called the Camel's Hump. I just found a relatively clean wheelie bin with only a few bin liners in. Lifted the lid, smelt it, it wasn't too bad. I fucking jumped in, got my head down. Slept, you know, for about 6 hours or something. And then at about 7 o'clock in the morning, fucking stretched off and started yomping home. And it become a bit of a crack, like... all the old blokes in my local pub used to call me Dumpster Boy when I told them that I spent the night in a wheelie bin. And then we did it more than once, and there was a few friends of mine saying, oh, let's sleep in a wheelie bin. It sort of became a thing. Quite ridiculous. But one time I remember doing it in the borough, and I was like, right, I'm off to bed then. See you later, lads. You know, off to find a pleasant skip to sleep in. And I pulled the lid off a bin behind the boozer, started going through it, and there was a tap on my shoulder, and the woman was like, it was a prozzy, and she said, are you looking for business? And I was like, business? And she was like, yeah, you know, business. And I was like, business. She was like, 30 quid. And I went, what, in fucking here? It's like, I'm clearly moving the bin bags so I could get my head down in this fucking wheelie bin, and you're asking me if I want business, and I'm like, business? And she said 30 quid. And I was like, what do you think I'm going... Do you really want to get fucked in a wheelie bin? You know, I've got relatively low standards, but if a woman tried to pick me up and said, back to my wheelie bin, I'd be like, you're all right, love, I'll just finish my fucking drink, thanks. So, yeah, one of them things. I slept in a coal bunker. Quality. In a full suit. Oh my God, that's horrendous. I hope that was a hired suit. Not only Rabsy, I've done it as well several times. So right, that's enough dits for one day. Taking the piss out of Joe, making excuses for Donald. Let's get on to AOC's list, right? So Brett Weinstein, 30 quid. That's expensive in Borough. She must have had a fanny like a mouse's ear. Yeah, she was top slut, that one, £30. So Brett Weinstein, if you don't know, he's quite a famous figure in the United States. He was a quite well-known professor at a college called Evergreen State. And Evergreen State College was very, very liberal. And he is very, very liberal. But they started getting progressively worse. And they basically ran him out of the college because he started saying common sense, reasonable things like freedom of speech is important and don't fucking murder people just because they disagree with you. So, you know, he's controversial. But he is, by every metric you could think to measure him on, a liberal. And I'm sure he voted for Joe Biden. But look at this tweet he's quote tweeted AOC here. Because he said, you are an elected representative in a democratic republic. and you are setting the stage for retribution against fellow citizens for the crime of holding a different opinion. You should stop it and counsel others to do the same. Fucking hell, Caleb, I wish I was from Middlesbrough. That sentence has never been uttered by anyone in human history. The Iraqis and the Afghans and the Nigerians come over and they get off the bus in Middlesbrough and they go, fuck me, anywhere but Middlesbrough. They go mental. They look out the fucking bus window when they get to Middlesbrough and they're like, take me back to fucking Iraq. Mr. Prime Minister, fucking parachute me up and fling me out of a plane above the Middle East because I'm not getting off the bus in this fucking shithole. Anyway, so yeah, that was his response. And here's what she was saying. Look at this. This is an elected representative in the United States. Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings and photos. Archiving them. And then this is the best. Look at this response from one of them. You better believe it. We just launched the Trump Accountability Project to make sure anyone who ever took a paycheck to help Trump undermine America is held responsible for what they did. And they've even got a website, look. TrumpAccountability.net. Remember what they did. Like, it's not the fucking Holocaust, is it? What did they do? Who did they kill? We must never forget those who furthered the Trump agenda. Can you believe that shit? And you know what it reminded me of? The way they've written it. Have you noticed how every one of these twats now, they always start a sentence, there's always a but, isn't there? There's always a but. Like they go, of course I agree with freedom of speech, but you can't say that, you fucking cunt. Basically, that's what they do. There's always a but, isn't there? They always do it in England, they love it. The Labour Party love it. They're like, oh, I support freedom of speech. I've always supported freedom of speech. But you can't be mean, you can't be rude, you can't disagree, you can't say that. Get that fucking barcode etched on his wrist. Get him in the salt mines, that fucking scum. Oh my God, he's left of fucking, I don't know, Chairman Mao. Fucking kill the cunt. They're crazy, these people. And there's always a but. And look at this one, it says, we must never forget those who furthered the Trump agenda. We should welcome people in, our fellow Americans with whom we differ politically. Oh, there we go then. Nice one. Cheers. I'll be off then. We should welcome fellow Americans who we disagree with. Yeah. Cheers then. See you later. Nope. Doesn't fucking end there, does it? Because we've got to do the but. But those who took a paycheck from Trump should not profit from their efforts to tear our democracy apart. The world should never forget. Yeah, the world has to join in. Yeah, because there's people in the world who aren't far left extremists, so get them involved. Yeah, but you're like, what about me? I'm from Kazakhstan. In the fucking box, you cunt. Yeah, in the box. Anyway, what is it? Never forget those who, when faced with a decision to choose to put their money, time and reputations behind separating children from their families. Right, again, right? This is just gobbledygook. This is politically motivated propaganda spread by a fucking communist. RP's in, how you doing? Have you built your bunker yet? I haven't got a bunker. But I told you I'm tooled up to fuck. I've got a very shiny firearm that I clean regularly. And a commando dagger, and it's fucking... My bedside cabinet looks like James Bond. It's like fucking knives, guns, ammo, more than one passport. I've got options. And if AOC comes round my house, she's in for a fucking shock. Well, first of all, I will give her a tennis racket and an apple and see if she really can eat a fucking apple through a tennis racket. Because I've always wanted to know. And then I'll say, hippity hoppity, get off my fucking property. So, yeah, that's not happening. But, yeah, look at this. This is just pure propaganda, this. And you can prove that it's completely wrong, demonstrably wrong, at odds with reality, with 2 seconds on Google. It says, "Oh, what, Matty? What didn't you get?" I don't know what question you're asking me, Jerry. Type it out and I'll answer it. It says, "The world should never forget those who separated children from their families." So there's the first one. We know that happened before Trump came anywhere near the White House. This is what I'm talking about. We're living in the post-truth world, right? Barack Obama and Joe Biden, right of Boris Johnson, right? Anyone want to disagree with that? Come at me. Come at me, bro, as the Americans say. Anyone want to disagree with that? I had a guy on Twitter saying Boris Johnson's a fucking Nazi. Boris Johnson's Hitler. Oh, Commando Dag's put on him. A Fairburn Sykes fighting knife. You pusser's bastard. It's been happening for decades. The United States is not a socialist utopia. By every metric, Barack Obama is right of fucking hell. He's probably about where Thatcher is, but he's demonstrably right of Boris Johnson. Joe Biden is right wing compared to Boris Johnson. And because these people know nothing about history or reality, try and tell a lefty on Twitter that Boris Johnson's a fucking left of centre, and they won't have it. It's like, Joe Biden's not a liberal. Useful idiots. Don't you know anything? What if he just isn't? It's just a demonstrable fact. He's been in politics for 47 years. Nothing about him is left wing. Nothing. And it never has been, and he never will be. He's right of Thatcher, right of Johnson, right of fucking Blair, right of all of them. And they're like, yay, socialist utopia. You fucking morons. You just don't know anything. So separating children from families didn't fucking happen. Encouraging racism and anti-Semitism didn't happen. It's just outright propaganda. He did the opposite of that. How much did he bang the drum for the Jews, Donald Trump? How much did he bang the drum for them? He negotiated a peace deal in the Middle East, totally 100% unequivocally denied anti-Semitism and racism. Dozens of occasions. The very fine people hoax was a hoax. 100%, as we know. 100%. In the same, I've showed you guys the fucking story. I'm not going to do it again. I've showed you guys it a dozen times. There's a screen cap. It's off the BBC with themselves on their website in the very same fucking paragraph when he said there's very fine people on both sides. It was full stop. Obviously, I'm not talking about neo-Nazis and white supremacists. He was hugging it out with Kanye West in front of my very eyes. Again, who do you believe? Insane political propaganda from a website called TrumpAccountability.net. Or your own eyes and your own ears. He was hugging it out with Kanye West, and he increased the black vote. He invited hundreds of black people to the White House and had a big dinner with them all, and they're all there with the MAGA hats fucking loving it. So this is just wrong. Do they know what actual Nazis? No, they don't. No, they don't, because they're postmodernists, communists, millennials, young people living in one of the freest and fairest countries in the world, convinced that they've never had it worse. Convinced they've never had it worse. And I've talked about this before. It's because they want a cause. Everybody needs a cause. I'm not a religious man, but I understand that life was better for a lot of people back then because they felt as if they had a reason to live, a raison d'etre to the fancy pants academical types. They knew what they were doing. They felt a purpose in life. And that purpose is gone now. And you have to understand that. Like, I've made peace with it because I'm agnostic, atheist. Like most British people, I've never been religious. But you have to make peace with the fact that they had a lot of good things, the religious people back in the day. They had a lot of things right. And that sense of, like, duty and responsibility to the church and your community and your close-knit circle of friends. You felt like you had a purpose and you felt like you had a reason to get up in the morning. And that's all vanished now. So now, weak-minded people, I'm cool with it. I bounce between white and black pilled, as I've talked about. It's a complicated things. I'll go through the pharmacy, right? I'm not white pilled one day, black pilled the next, red pilled sometimes. It's like I bounce around those names, as I've talked about with Al. But it's like, you do have to make your peace with that. Like, we lost something when we gained something. We gained something when we turned our back on scripture and spending all of our waking moments going to Sunday school and shit. That is a waste of your time. Sadwings. I knew we'd disagree there because Sadwings, you're American, obviously quite religious. What I'm saying to you is I agree with you in that I like Christianity and I have a soft spot for it. I even joke about that. I remember being a kid and I used to like hymn practice on a Friday. Every Friday when I was a bairn, they used to sing hymns for an hour on a Friday morning. I used to like it. And I have a soft spot for the Church of England and I like the fucking architecture. York Minster in York, it's a fantastic building. There's loads of good things about Christianity that I like. I'm culturally Christian, but I'm not religious. So I understand the appeal of it. But what I'm saying is, it's like yin and yang. There's a price to pay for everything. And what we gained from like not wasting our time sat in church all the time and not going to fucking Sunday school and not like constantly fucking reading about scripture when I could be reading much cooler things about, fucking planets. That's great. That's progress. But we have lost something. We've lost our way in the world. We've lost like a reason to get up in the morning. We've lost the community. We've lost a sense of purpose. We've lost a lot of things there. And these young people now, the reason they're doing it, Brooke, Sean, the reason they're doing it is because they need that purpose. They're trying to get it back and they can't find it. So what they want is a good old crusade. We used to do real fucking crusades in the old days where you go to Turkey and stab a Muslim in the face. That's what they used to do. We don't do that anymore, Aaron. All right. Same with football, right? That we've replaced. Football is like, it scratches a tribal itch to get into a big gang and shake things at another big gang, and it scratches that itch, but no one has to die. So what we've done is we've replaced Christianity and feelings of meaning with fucking gobbledygook. Emotional crusades. Are you okay? Emotional crusades. And that's what they're doing. The desperate. Everyone wishes. It's like, why we love fantasy books or like cool war-y books? Two things I like. Again, you guys know I'm a bit of a nerd. I like TNG. I love Lord of the Rings. I like all the sci-fi fantasy stuff. The reason we like that is because it's really cool story and you think, I wish I was there. You read any of them military books, you read like really cool stories. The Marine from Mandalay is a really good one I read, about a Royal Marine from Middlesbrough. You read these cool stories about these Sputniks who like fought the enemy and marched 100 miles through the desert and fucking fought the Nazis and that, and you're like, yeah man, that guy's totally awesome. Yeah, you sort of really love that shit. And you love it because you wish you were there taking part in history. Hey up TikTok, how are you? Of course I've been to a Newcastle. I haven't been to a Newcastle Sunderland derby. I've been to a Middlesbrough Sunderland derby or a Middlesbrough Newcastle derby. And it's fantastic. You wish you were there. So these young people now, they're creating a cause that doesn't exist. Bernard Cornwell's fucking fantastic. Yeah, all the Sharp books, I've read them all. And they want that feeling of meaning. They wish they were there. They wish they were there when Martin Luther King gave his big speech in Selma. They wish they were at Selma. They wish they were at fucking any big event. It'd be cool. Wouldn't it be cool saying you're at the biggest battle of the Falklands War? Goose Green or something. It was cool being at the walls of Troy. Cool being at fucking in the... It's cool after the fact to say, I was there. People even lie about it, don't they? Why do you think so many fucking sad bastards with more medals than fucking Kim Jong go, oh yeah, I was there? And that's why blokes lie about being in the military. Because it's cool. I was there at the front line when we invaded Iraq. I was. People love talking about that. They love it so much to lie about it. I was there. So that's what they're doing here. I was there fighting the good fight. The fight's already been won, lads. And now you're lying to demonise your fellow Americans. make them out to be worse than scum. It's fucking evil. It's evil. It's propaganda, hate, and lies. And they're doing it, not realising that they're going to have to pay the piper eventually. This type of rhetoric and brainwashing, because you're brainwashing kids, aren't you? You're telling kids lies about the fellow Americans. You're telling young people, oh yeah, the people that you disagree with, they're fucking evil. They're evil. They encourage racism. They encourage anti-Semitism. They despise you. They separated children from their families. I mean, how evil is all that? If you believed all that about someone, well, you probably would think it's okay to fucking shoot him in the head. This is why the communists are so dangerous, because that's what Stalin and Mao and Pol Pot and everybody else does. They create an other, they create an outgroup, and they turn everybody against them. And then it doesn't. What do you think turning you against them is going to do? You're not going to turn against them to get these fuckers in power and then forgot you all turned against them. AOC is a fucking moron because she's a full-blown communist. She doesn't even know she's a communist because the postmodernists, and they've listened to all this, the French academics from the fucking 60s and onwards, they don't even know the communists, but they are communists. They are. So they've successfully divided. We've now got 70 million Americans on either side who absolutely despise each other, and about the other 50-60% doesn't really care either way that much. But you never need everyone to be involved to get mass murder. What do you think of World War II? Do you think 90% of the country supported Hitler? It didn't, but you don't need that many people. You just need a decent-sized minority, and they just crack on, and everybody else just sits on the sidelines and goes, fuck me. And that's what they've managed to do. They've created tens of millions of Americans who believe all of this total fucking gobbledygook and set up websites like TrumpAccountability.net, and they don't even feel guilty about it. And they call their fellow Americans fucking evil. And they lie about them, and they say, look how evil those people are, just to get in power. And then if AOC thinks she can put that back in the box, she's sadly fucking mistaken. Because once you've said something, you can't unsay something. So she's successfully, and the media and Silicon Valley and everybody else, the checker, they aren't going to have the fucking checker. It's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. Like I said, I'm sure I can chuckle my way through it. Because the worst case scenario is you just go down shooting. I don't fucking care. They're not getting anything out of me. But it's going to go tits up because of this. I don't think it's going to end up in the fucking collapse of the country. I don't. Because like I said, I think a lot of them are just LARPing, like live action role playing. They're not really intending to get violent. But there's going to be a lot of them that will. And I think it's going to come to the crunch. And you're going to have two opposing sides fighting. Oh, fuck, I'm getting rang here. Leave me alone. Let's put that on airplane mode. Hang on. Yeah, so it's going to be bad shit, man. She's lit a fuse, and you're going to get you're going to get some violence, probably not enough to collapse the entire country. But when you spend all your time doing this, like I said, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And AOC and all of her chums, they're going to rule the day. They've spent 4 years demonising half the country, lying about half the country. And where do you think that leads? Just to get into power, finally we got rid of Trump, job's done, happy fucking days. But that's not going to go away now. You can't unsay what you've said. They've created a monster. They've created a monster, and it's the monster's not going to vanish now you're in power. They think they're all in power now. Get in, we can forget about Biden and we can bring the country together again. You've spent 4 years refusing to accept the results of a free and fair election. Spent 4 years refusing to accept their choice of president, and now you want them to fucking just accept yours. Why should they? I mean, I think they should. I don't care either way. I'm a wishy-washy wanker, but why should they? 4 fucking years denying it, and now your guys won. You're like, oh well, let's all be pals, shall we? Yeah, you have been calling a racist and a Nazi and a xenophobe and human trash. Been calling you fucking deplorable and irredeemable vermin. Like, there's nothing lower, is there? If you're deplorable and irredeemable. Like, society doesn't even think paedophiles and murderers and rapists are irredeemable, do we? Because we don't just kill them. We let them out. We say, oh, we can reform them. So AOC and the like, they've basically spent 4 years saying, oh, paedophiles, rapists, nonsense, they're all redeemable. Oh, he only had a wank outside a primary school. He's all right. He only fucked an 8-year-old and then ate him. He's redeemable. Ian Huntley's redeemable. He just made a few mistakes. So we can't just kill him. We've got to lock him up because he's redeemable. But oh, fucking hell, you voted for Donald Trump. You're deplorable and you're irredeemable. So you're just human fucking scum. You are the foam that floats to the top of a bucket of piss. You fucking human scum. Oh, look, Biden's won. Let's all be pals. Not gonna fucking happen. Not gonna fucking happen. You can't expect it to happen. And again, and I'm not sticking up for these people. I'm not. I wish we could come back together. But I'm just saying, because I'm foreign, maybe that's why I'm not as invested in Trump. But I totally understand the Trump voters at this point. 4 years, the worst insults, the worst fucking insults you can imagine. Human scum, not accepting the result, every dirty trick, censorship, Silicon Valley, all the media, even the international media, the BBC, fucking Sky News, everyone. And now you all want to be pals. Biden, oh yeah, I'll unite the country. Fuck off, you balmy old cunt. You couldn't unite fucking bread with butter, you daft old twat. They've created a monster. That's all I wanted to say. I think AOC's tweet there is completely unbecoming of anyone who gets anywhere near political office. And that fucking follow-up tweet, the Trump Accountability Project, it's hyperbolic to use the word terrifying, because nothing fucking terrifies me from these fucking weak, limp-wristed soy boys. But it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. The Trump Accountability Network, supported by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They're going to round up the fucking Cubans. They hate the Cubans now, don't they? She was like, fucking Cubans. Maxine Waters was like, fucking black men. All those black men voting for Trump, bastards. And AOC and them are like, fucking Cubans. Put them on the list then. Put them on the list. Black men, Cubans, anyone who put them all on the list. You balmy old cunt. So there you go. Maxine, damn those Cubans. It's going to go tits up, boys and girls. That's despicable. That's despicable. I've got time for one more before I fuck off and talk to my friends. Oh, yeah. I'll do Kathy Griffin. Because sticking with this nice theme of cancel Cubans. Yeah, fuck off Cubans. Go back to your own country. You're going to get lefties saying that, aren't you? Far left, tolerant lefties. Fuck off back to Cuba, you fucking cunts. Yeah. Progressive. So, disgraceful behaviour. Nobody knows where this is going to end up. I would assume violence at some point. You can't lie about, propagandise, and talk about people that way for 4 years and expect them all to be your mates now. Now your guys have won. It doesn't work that way. So it's fucking shocking. And the last one I want to talk about, because it is staggeringly hypocritical. Kathy Griffin, right? I've talked about it before. You guys who watch my live streams, you'll know about it. Kathy Griffin is despicable, right? I've showed you guys a picture of Kathy Griffin posing with Trump's head, right? I mean, straight away, one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, if someone posed with Barack Obama's head after he won the fucking election, they'd probably have him in jail. They'd be like, that's a hate crime. That's purely race-based. They wouldn't allow it that it was just ideological. They'd be like, no, it's because you're a despicable racist. Fucking jail him, lock him up, whatever. So Kathy Griffin posted with his head. Completely unacceptable. That's not why she's so contemptible. This is why she's so contemptible. Because a newly emboldened Kathy Griffin has just reposted the photo after she cried crocodile tears on TV and said sorry and said, oh God, I can't believe I did that, and was contrite about it. That's how much of a shit weasel Kathy Griffin out. What, she is lower than a fucking python's bollocks. Like, I can't believe that she doesn't feel guilty. Like, to me, Kathy Griffin here, that's worse than AOC. AOC is just a moron being a communist and not knowing it. Kathy Griffin is like the worst type of hypocrite you can imagine. Kathy Griffin is a worse hypocrite than like a televangelist who goes on the TV, talks about how all the gays are evil and they're all going to hell, and then 2 hours later they find him snorting a line of coke off a rent boy's cock. That's how hypocritical Kathy Griffin is. You can't be any more hypocritical than Kathy Griffin. It's impossible. So that's what she's done. She's fucking come out now that Biden's won the election and reposted the head picture after she cried on TV. Again, the audio's not working, but I wish I could show you it. Google it yourselves. She cried on... Fuck, everything you do is ads nowadays. Does me head in. She cried on TV, proper bawled her eyes out, said that she should never have done it, and now that Biden's won, she's reposted the photo. So, I mean, is there anything more contemptible than that? As hypocritical as a Labour MP, then, yeah, more or less. It's as hypocritical as... It's like Diane Abbott saying, I hate people that eat Twixes. I can't believe people eat Twixes. The Twix is despicable. And then you check her expenses like we did a few years ago and she'd spent about fucking 40 grand on Twixes. The fat fuck. She's ate more Twixes than fucking, well, one of the factory employees who gets Twixes for free. I always pick Twix because I remember being in the galley at 40 Commando and someone shouted, shut up you fat cunt, to one of the stripies. And he replied, it's not my fault I'm fat. Every time I fuck your mum, she gives me a Twix. So I like the Twix for my candy bar of choice because of that classic line. But yeah, there's nothing more hypocritical. Diane Abbott, her expense account. She spent more on publicly funded Twixes in a year than I spent on, like, you know, car insurance. The fat fuck. So yeah, shocking. The hypocritical attitude of Kathy Griffin is despicable, innit? So she cried her eyes out, apologised, I shouldn't have done that, and then now she's waving the head about left, right and Chelsea. I think I'll end with a photo of it, because it feels like I should show you, if you haven't seen it. There we go. So there's the image. And it's on Snopes, look, the lefty fucking website. I went too far. Unequivocally apologised. Cried her eyes out on TV. Said I shouldn't have done that. And now Biden's just won the election. She's got the head back out. Fucking contemptible. Contemptible. And I think that'll do, because I'm supposed to be on a WhatsApp call with another bunch of blokes. Right, thanks for watching. I guess I'll get the BBC Spews done tomorrow. Buy a poppy if you haven't, you tight bastards. And like and share the video, because you know the drill, motherfuckers. Thanks for watching. And I will see you twats very soon. Cheers. Thanks, guys.